What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I'm going to show you the AI model, the +1 model when it comes to the House of Representatives. How many seats can the Democrats gain in the 2026 midterm election? So that's what we're going to focus on today. And spoiler alert, there's been a big update. So we're going to talk about that in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's just get right into this. I want to show you this, and we're going to talk about why there's been a major change. So the first thing, if you guys don't know, I created this AI model, basically trained AI to predict or give us a projection of how many seats Democrats could gain in the 2026 midterm election. Okay, so based on that information, we did one last month in March, and this is going to be the first one that we have done in April. I might do another one later down the road in April, but we only did one in March, and then we did a couple in February. Okay, so let me show you first what we're looking at, and I'll talk you through everything so you can understand what's going on. Now, when it comes to the formula, if you want to know the formula, you're going to have to go back to the videos that I posted when I first started doing this, and I showed you the exact formula. I'll go over it a little bit here, but I'm not going to spend time each video going over the exact formula. So if you want to know more information about that formula, just go back, and I have these all dated. So go back to the first date, and you'll be able to find that first formula, and you'll see exactly how we calculate all of this. But some of the information is here because it shows you, like right here, it shows you the calculation, where they're getting information. I talk about where the information is coming from as well. Okay, so the first metric that we use, now the way that the AI model, the way I trained this is I wanted to go back in history. So I wanted to use historical data. And when we're looking at that historical data, we're taking certain categories. So certain things like the president's job approval, how does that impact the midterm election? When we talk about GDP, when we talk about CPI, we talk about some of this different information, historically speaking, how does that impact our elections? And that's what we've taken here. So looking at the first one here, the generic ballot. So when we're looking at the generic ballot, we're getting this information from Real Clear Politics. And right now, the generic ballot is at 6 points. Now, remember, just a month ago, it was around 4 points. Okay, so it was going anywhere from 3.5, 3.6 to 4 points. Now it's at 6 points. So now we've seen a major jump in the generic ballot. And basically, the way the generic ballot works is Democrats versus Republicans. Who are you more likely to vote for, Democrat or Republican? Right now, more people are saying that they would vote for a Democrat over a Republican. So now let's take a look at the presidential job approval. So presidential job approval, we have it at 41%. We're getting this information from Ballotpedia. So before it was at 43%, 42%. Now we're down to 41%. That means that 41%, just based on Ballotpedia, 41% of the population approve, or at least the people who have been polled on this, approve of the president's job. That means that 59% disapprove. So the vast majority of the people in the polling they disapprove of how the president is handling his job. Okay, looking at the economy. Okay, there's been some more changes here when it comes to GDP. GDP is at 0.7%. When it comes to CPI, CPI is at 2.4%, which CPI, that's a good number. That's not a bad number, but it's probably going to get worse when we receive the numbers in April. And those numbers in April, that's going to be for March. We know what happened in March. We saw this conflict in Iran, and as a result of that, we've seen gas prices increase, and we've also seen other items increase. So that 2.4% will change, and it will probably go up I won't say much higher, but it'll probably go up higher when we receive the information for March. Okay, unemployment is staying steady at around 4.3%. And as I stated, when it comes to the calculation, this is the calculation here. Now, looking at special elections, we did see a special election in March, and this has been updated just a little bit. It's a +4. Now, when it comes to special elections, it's a little bit harder for us to find concrete information, but I think most people looking at special elections would agree that they're outperforming Republicans when it comes to special elections. Okay, Seats at risk. We got this information from the Cook Political Report. And right now it's showing us Democrats' advantage is +8. I've seen it +8, +9. We're going to use +8 here in this calculation. Okay, now this is how we get to the +1 model. So after you do all of the calculations here, you come up with this number, +6.93. +6.93. For every point, that equates to 10 seats that Democrats could gain. Okay, so now we're looking at the projection. We're at 69 seats. So in the 2026 midterm election right now, based on the information coming from this AI model, it is showing us that Democrats will net 69 seats. That would be a tsunami if we saw that. Now let's take a look. We're going to go back, and we're going to go back to October. Okay, so for those of you, if you want to see the initial videos that I started posting, it was back October 17th. That was the first video. Okay, so looking at the seat gain back in October of 2025, we saw 11 seats. And then October 23rd of 2025, we saw 20 seats. And then November 1st of 2025, we saw 21 seats. And then November 7th of 2025, we saw 37 seats. And then November 13th of 2025, we saw 40 seats. November 20th of 2025, we saw 45 seats. November 27th of 2025, we saw 43 seats. And then we went down here, December 16th of 2025, it went down to 33 seats. And then in late December, I believe it was around December 28th, it was around my birthday of 2025, we saw 37 seats, so it increased a little bit more. January 22nd of 2026, we saw 41 seats, so we had a gain there. February 4th of 2026, we saw 44 seats, so there's another gain. Then March 8th of 2026, we saw 42 seats, so it went down just a little bit. And now, April 5th of 2026, we're looking at 69 seats. And so you can clearly see that Democrats right now, based on this AI model, it's showing that Democrats are going to have a good November. They're going to win seats in November. Now remember, we're looking at 69 seats here in this model, but Democrats only need to net 3 seats. If they can net 3 seats in the House, they will take back control of the House. So it is very likely at this point that Democrats will take back control of the House. That's not something that people are really saying, it's going to be impossible for Democrats to do. But when it comes to the Senate, it will be a little bit harder for Democrats to take back control of the Senate. But if we're looking at these numbers, and I say this all the time, when we're looking at numbers like this, that is showing us, based on the information that's coming out, historically speaking, if it's showing that in the House, Democrats are going to gain about 69 seats, that means that in the Senate, we're also going to see a shift, because that wave will carry over to the Senate. So we don't know exactly how the Senate's going to play out. I have shown you guys before that Democrats do have a pathway to take back control of the Senate. But when we're looking at the House right now, we can clearly see that Democrats now have the advantage. I wouldn't say Democrats have the advantage in the Senate right now, but I do see those pathways. But when it comes to the House, Democrats have an advantage. They have a huge advantage right now to take back control of the House. And so I'm going to pass it off to you. What do you think we're going to see in November? Do you think Democrats will be able to take back the House? And how many seats do you think they'll be able to gain? Do you think 69? Do you think that number is pretty accurate? Do you think it'll be lower than that? Do you think it'll be higher than that? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.